Hey guys, it's Becky. This video, when I was filming it, I filmed it like almost 2 months ago. When I was filming it, it cut out at the very end. So I'm just making an intro video letting you guys know that this video does cut off at a really weird place. And I will do an outro as well to explain a little more in depth about what I was talking about when I cut off. And I think that's it for right now. Just a warning, this is a really, I mean, they're all hard to make, but I mean, I do enjoy making these videos. I'm very glad that I get to do this, not just for me, but for other people, because I know, you know, especially borderline's a really stigmatized illness, and people have a lot of misunderstandings about it, and it's viewed as very negative, and I do talk about some things in this video that do shed that kind of light on borderline. But I hope that I describe it in a way that conveys that it's never intended to be malicious. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you at the end of the video. Hello, this is Rebecca. This is the first video of a series I'm doing, the criteria for borderline personality disorder. In order to get a diagnosis, you have to meet 5 out of the 9 criteria. In my previous video that I did on my experience with borderline and what it is, I said that I meet all 9 criteria, and that has not changed since I received my diagnosis like 4 years ago now. Yeah. I've kind of known I've had borderline for 8 years though. When I first went to a psychiatrist, she didn't want to diagnose me because I was just 18. And she wanted to treat me based on symptoms, not necessarily a diagnosis. So, yes, I am going to be talking about the first criteria today. And the first one is frantic efforts to avoid real or perceived abandonment. This is a really hard issue for me to talk about. It's very, usually in my own experience, when I've talked to clinicians, therapists, psychiatrists, one of the main criteria that they go by with borderline is abandonment, because there are other disorders that have impulsivity and dissociation and things like that, but the abandonment is pretty profound when it comes to borderline. So, and that's not everyone. Like I said, disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I'm just going off of my own experience, the people I know who have it, and previous therapists that I've spoke to. So, I wrote down on a little list here what I'm going to talk about, because this is a really hard video for me to do. It brings up a couple things that I don't like to talk about. So, just having this here, I hope me looking down frequently doesn't bother you. Just having this here will keep me on track and keep me from getting emotional or veering off course. So, with all that said, I want to get into this. Alright, so, for people with borderline, we have, and I've said this in pretty much every single video I've made so far, we have extreme emotions that fluctuate very frequently, and they are very intense. So the smallest little thing can set us off. So, especially in childhood, because borderline is mostly a trauma-based illness. So usually someone has severe trauma in their past when they have borderline. Now, I can't speak for everyone with borderline because obviously I'm one person, but I do have significant trauma in my past, and that has severely affected me, and that definitely contributed to me developing borderline. So, abandonment is a huge issue for me. Anytime I'm faced with possible abandonment, which sometimes I don't even realize until it's happening, because I'm so sensitive to everything, because I get into arguments with people sometimes. Sometimes I don't, when I'm like that, I don't necessarily understand other people. Like, I can logically understand, but emotionally, emotions are ruling everything. So logic, as much as I can, like, I can understand people and where they're coming from. But for me, all I feel is my feelings, my emotions. Everything is just swirling around in my head, just nonstop. And so sometimes I can't tell in a relationship that someone is nearing the point of leaving me until it's happening. So, or I'm too sensitive and I think they're gonna leave me and I end it myself. So the first thing, my first reaction to abandonment, or whether it's real or imagined abandonment, is to run away. So pretty much every time I have an issue with someone where they get mad and they yell, or they get to a point where I can tell emotion is ruling them, I've had people say, you know what, I'm so sick of you. You know, I can't handle you right now. I can't talk to you. As soon as someone starts being angry with me or makes me upset, I run. Usually bawling my eyes out. Because running away seems better than dealing with the fact that people are angry with me or upset with me, or that they might really actually be walking out of my life. Yeah, it's not good. So when that happens, I usually get very suicidal, and I have literally begged people not to leave, and that's so sad. And thinking about it right now while I'm not in a brawl with someone, that's really sad. And I don't like that at all. I've gotten a lot better through therapy with understanding when people are upset with me, or learning how to communicate before that happens. So I've gotten better, and I try really hard not to beg anymore. Like, when I feel like someone's gonna leave, or they're saying I can't be friends with you, or I can't be in a relationship with you because you're just too much, I have worked really hard to get to a point where I can sit there and say, I've done everything I can to communicate with this person. If that's how they feel, bye. Because for a long time, and sometimes I can still slip back into this, I try really hard not to, but sometimes I do get to the point where I pretty much beg them to stay, or I'm going to go into a situation that happened nearly 3 years ago now, This one's really hard for me, so if I start like spacing out, dissociating, that's why. It's very stressful for me to talk about, but it's a perfect example. So I had a boyfriend. Well, we were just friends at first, and when I fall hard and fast, and it's so scary because I do feel everything so intensely. I started falling for this friend, and I'd only known him for a very short amount of time, and normally I don't go that fast, but something about him, it was unlike anything I've ever had in a friendship before. So we started talking about possibly dating, and we did eventually do that. Now, before I even started a relationship with him, I told him I have significant mental health problems, and I'll do my best to communicate with you, but you need to understand this. Please tell me you understand this. And he would say, yeah, I'm not leaving you. Well, he did. And this was the first set in stone dating relationship I had ever had where I actually trusted that person enough to have sex with them. So, even though we dated for like a month, he broke my heart. And and I don't think I was upset over something stupid. We made plans to hang out on a holiday, and we had those plans for at least a couple days, and that day came, and I didn't hear from him, and I texted him multiple times, hey, when are we getting together? I thought we were hanging out today for the holiday. And I didn't get a response till like the end of the day, like evening. So I had a friend come over because emotionally I couldn't handle the fact that he was not responding to me. Because as soon as someone doesn't respond to me, I think they're leaving. And those thoughts in my head, what did I do wrong? Did I say something? Did I do something? What can I do to fix this? I don't want to lose this person. And I really valued his friendship and the relationship we had. I really, really did. Anyway, he texted me back that evening, and I said, can you come to the house because I need to see you? And at this point, I had come to the conclusion that if he wasn't going to be honest with me and communicate with me, that I wasn't going to be in a relationship with him. So, I wanted to see him to gauge where things were and what had happened. So, he comes over, and I'm miserable. I am literally, I don't remember if I was crying or not. I had been crying that day, I know that for sure. And I went outside. My friend was livid with him. She was in the house, And to this day, she's like, if he had come in this house, I would have been on him. And I'm glad I didn't let her out there. But I spoke to him about it, and I was like, look, we had plans for at least a couple days. If you needed to change them, just let me know. When I plan things and they're like set in stone, I'm not flexible at all. Unless something has happened, or, I mean, even if someone said, today I'm just not feeling it, I really just don't want to hang out today, it would hurt, but I would much prefer that to just not being, like, to just not hearing from the person. So, we started talking, and I told him, you need to communicate with me, and if you're not going to do that, we cannot be together. And he was like, why are you so bent out of shape? I'm not leaving. And then I found out that he had gone just spur of the moment and had drinks with buddies. Even though we had outstanding plans that we had planned out. Like, and to someone, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I was too intense. I don't think I was being irrational. I feel like if someone has plans with you and they decide to do something else, that they should just let you know. Like, I don't know if that's just not how people think. I don't know. But that's what I thought. So when I found out that he just didn't even bother responding to me, just went and had drinks with buddies, and then it was really, really painful. And he left, and I spent that whole night, I did not sleep, like barely slept at all that night, literally like 2 or 3 hours. I spent basically that whole night composing a letter. And I was very realistic, very kind in the letter. I tried very hard not to let my emotions rule it. I tried really hard to put my logic into it as well. To say up front, this is what I need. This is what I want. And if this is going to be an issue for you, we should part ways. And that morning, I was talking to him, and he had to go to work because he had gotten a new job. And that was part of the problem, was he was working. Sorry, excuse that. He was working a lot, and we weren't really getting to spend time together because of that. And I am the kind of person where if someone's job is their top priority, we cannot date. Because I need to know that I'm going to have a partner who's family focused. Because I want to be a mom. I want to get married. I want to have children. And I'm not going to be the only person taking care of the kids. I'm not going to be waiting for someone to come home from work every day when they work crazy odd hours. Like, sorry. Yeah, I need to know that the person is family oriented and that family means more to them than their job. So that was really bothering me. And to each their own. If your job is what's most important to you, that is your choice, and that is completely fine. And I hope you meet someone, if you even want to meet someone, who allows that to be the way it is. Maybe another person who views work as their top priority. I don't. I like my job. It's a good job. I'm very, very blessed. I have a wonderful, wonderful place that I work, and I have really nice coworkers, but when if I have a family, when I have a family, hopefully I'll be doing something in the psychology field, and I won't have to work a shit ton of hours. I'll work, obviously, but not like crazy amount. So him needing to be at work all the time really bothered me, but I was like, okay, well, that's just the way he is. He wants work, work is important to him, and I completely respect that. But when, even on his days off, he didn't want to see me, that put up red flags in my head that maybe he doesn't want to be with me anymore. So I spent this whole night writing a letter to him. That's how hard I didn't want him to leave, but I was honest, and I said, if work is your top priority, if you're gonna go and do things and not tell me and let me know, at least give me warning, like, then we can't be together, because I need to know these things. And that sounds so super controlling, but I swear to you, if he had just sent me a text, hey, I don't feel like hanging out today, yes, I would have been hurt, but it would have been a lot better than just not hearing anything at all and needing to call a friend because I was in a breakdown. So that morning, after I wrote that letter and sent it to him, he was at work, and I guess he read it. But the first thing he texted after reading it was, we need to talk. And that's the big blinkers that says, oh, something's going on. So he wanted to come over to my house to break up with me. And he said, I want to do this after work. I want to talk to you after work in person. And I said, no. Because I'm not going to let him come here, break up with me to my face, and have me turn into a crying mess, begging him not to leave. No. So I said, no, tell me. Because I'm not going to wait till your shift is done. You don't understand what that does to me. I'd rather you just tell me right now and get it out of the way, even if it is over text. So he said, I don't think we can be together. And I don't remember how he phrased it, because I kind of blocked a lot of this out because it was so painful. No, it was really, really painful. And it took me, I mean, there's still days where I'm like not over it. Like, for the most part, it took like a year after he broke up with me to move on. But now I have serious trust issues, and I had serious trust issues beforehand, but because of what happened, because I told him all my conditions, everything that, and I said to him, I'm scared you'll leave, because people say that they won't, and then they do. He did that exact thing to me when I trusted him not to. So now I don't trust people, and I don't trust relationships. So I take things so slow now. And I don't say I love you. Not until well into what's going on. And I have not been in a relationship since. But even if it's like a perceived possible relationship, it takes time. I'm talking to someone right now, and I have not said I love you because I am terrified to say that. And so yeah, serious trust issues because of that. And like I said, it's not necessarily his fault. Like, he has a life, and he had just gotten a new job. He was trying to get situated with that, and I completely understand that. But when I have a day off and I make plans with someone, even if I start feeling sick or I really just don't have the energy to hang out with them, I will at least let them know. So that really hurt. Yeah. So that's out of the way. So that was a case of real abandonment. And when it comes to perceived abandonment, like where I think someone might leave me, or I feel like someone, like I need to gain someone's acceptance, I hate to say this because this is such a big stereotype of people with borderline, but I lie. I lie. And it's really little things, really stupid things. Like, it's put me in some horrible situations, okay? And I'm going to make a video on borderline and manipulation because it's something that a lot of people who have heard things about borderline, or, you know, they have a negative view of it, is manipulation, being abusive. Not everyone with borderline is abusive. Not everyone is a manipulator. And even if they are manipulating people, it's not, at least for me, it's not trying to manipulate them. It is to get my needs met. It is to gain acceptance because I am scared people are going to leave me. And that all comes from childhood. That's how I learned to make friends. So, the lies I tell are so stupid. Like, and it's not... Perfect example, okay? Even some people who are awkward in social situations would say a lie like this. Someone says, "Hey, Rebecca, did you go see this movie? It's so cool." And because I'm scared that they're not gonna like me or want to be my friend anymore because I didn't see the movie, I say, "Oh yeah, I saw it. It was fantastic." And then they say, "Oh, what was your favorite part?" And I say, because automatically at that point, I know I fucked up. And that's how it used to go. And sometimes I catch myself doing it still. I have done a lot of work to get that not my norm. To have people accept me or not accept me for who I am, whether I've seen the movie or not. So, it makes me laugh because it's ridiculous. Like, it's never intended to be malicious. It's not trying to manipulate people. It is out of fear that people will not like me anymore if I say I didn't see this movie. So yeah, that has led to a few different issues in my life where, you know, they'll catch me in a lie and they'll be like, "Oh, you liar." Like, and then I have lost friends over lying to gain acceptance, which is just so stupid. But yeah, those are the kind of things that I lie about. It's really dumb things. It's not like, when it comes to you, if I'm your friend and people ask you my opinion on like what they're wearing, or, you know, how they're, you know, sometimes I have some friends who are also mentally ill. I'm honest. Very honest. Sometimes a little too honest. You know, so if I have a friend who's having an issue and they want my advice, or they want me to just listen and tell them, "Hey, yes, that was, you know..." Example, I have a friend who's cheated. I'm honest. And I say, "I don't like that. That's going to make it really hard for people to trust you." But I can understand because I lie. So I can't judge. I can't be rude and say, "Well, you're a cheater. No one's going to love you. No one's going to want to be with you because I don't trust you." That's not true. I love that. I love those friends that have done that. I just wouldn't trust them in a relationship. Like a relationship. You know, so I try really hard not to be judgmental, and my friends know that they can come to me and I'll be honest with them, but also be able to see their side. So, and that's something I've learned with therapy. Dialectics, seeing more than one side to something. But yeah, those are the kinds of things I lie about, and it's so stupid, and I hate it, and I wish it wasn't like that, and I've gotten a lot better with therapy. When I was in dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT. That's like, the lady who created it was borderline. She understood what it's like. And I didn't think it was going to work when I went into DBT, but it did. And it helped me a lot. But they have something called a diary card. I actually think I'm going to go grab one, so just bear with me for 1 second. Hello. Okay, so there's something called a diary card in DBT, and this is my DBT binder, and I plan on making a video with all of these with my DBT binder, because my DBT binder has wowed therapists. So I definitely want to make a video. I can't fucking open this stupid thing. I apologize. This is a hot mess. Yeah, so I hope to make a video of my DBT binder to show people the kinds of things I have in here. But this is a diary card. Alright. You have to fill it out every single day when you're in DBT therapy. It was very not fun. And basically at the top part here, these are all skills you learn in DBT. And you have to circle when you used them, if you used them on each day. And then later down here, there is emotions and actions. So you have to say, for Monday through Sunday, how high your urge to use, if you're a recovering addict or alcoholic, how high your urge to use was, how high your urge to suicide was, how high your urge to self-harm was. And then there's emotions here, you know, pain, sad, shame, anger, fear, drugs, there's all sorts of stuff on here. But then, further down here, actions. The two actions that they have listed here are self-harming, and you have to say, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. And then they have lying, so the number of times you've lied in a day. And I will tell you that when I first started DBT, it was an ungodly amount of lies. And I've felt so self-hating because of it. It was my first nature. I sometimes didn't even realize I was doing it. And it was just the stupid things. And so now, through DBT, I've gotten to a point where I know when I'm doing it, for the most part. I do catch myself sometimes doing it, and I have told my friends, if I lie and I catch myself, or if I lie and then later on come back and say, oh shit, I lied, I will tell you that I lied. So sometimes now, if it starts coming out, or I get it out, like, yes, I did see that movie, I say, I'm sorry, that was a lie. I did not see that movie. And that is really hard to do. Really hard to do, because you're risking them getting angry with you or being upset with you for lying to them. But my friends are the chillest people. I love my friends. They are fantastic. They love me for who I am, with all my faults, all my flaws, and I love them. So I know that I can be honest with them and tell them, yes, I just lied and I'm really sorry about that. It just came out. So that is one thing I do when I feel like someone is going to leave me. Another is I beat them to it. So even if they're not planning on leaving me, sometimes, especially in like a romantic relationship, if I feel like someone's gonna leave, or I'm scared of what'll happen in the future, I will break up with them. And that is awful. And it hurts, like, because I have a really bad tendency to self-sabotage anything that's happy in my life. For a long time, I didn't really know what happiness was. In the diary card, you have to also mark how high your level of joy was. And I swear to you, when I first started, it was always a 0. And anger and hatred, sadness, all that was up at 5. It was a 0 to 5 scale. As time went on, and I was in this really intense therapy, every single Monday I went to group for like 2 or 3 hours. And then I had an individual session every week as well. And this was every single week, except for holidays. And it was for over a year. For me, it was like 18 months. As I continued with DBT, I saw those numbers start to change. As the bad numbers, the negative emotions started to come down, and the joy started to go up. So, that, I forgot what I was saying. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm looking at this again. Forgot what I was gonna say. I don't fucking know. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue with the whole breaking up with people thing. Breaking up with people, leaving friends. You know, for a long time I didn't know what it was to be happy. And, or at least it was like tiny fleeting moments that I was so scared to like put in action because I was like, something is going to destroy it. It got so bad that when my happiness started to rise, I started to have nightmares. Like, and I have nightmares normally. I have a really nasty sleep disorder. And I have really vivid, horrible nightmares all the time. But they got so much worse. And so even my brain was like, what the fuck is this? Why are you happy? Like, so I'm not like that anymore. And I'm actually pretty happy most of the time now. But the happiness, you know, I always get so scared it's gonna go away. So if something makes me happy, or something seems too good to be true, I have a really bad habit of self-sabotaging it. So I'll say, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. They're gonna leave me. It's not gonna work out. And either I will push them away actively or without even knowing it by saying, you're gonna break up with me. You're gonna break up with me. Oh, this is not gonna happen. You know, you're gonna hate me eventually. You're gonna hate me eventually. Like, and so either I do that or I shun them. Or, I mean, this is horrible because I hate people doing it to me. Very hypocritical. And I know that, and I'm trying really, really, really hard to work on it, but I ghost people very often. And it's not, I can't even say it's not an active thing, because sometimes it is. Sometimes someone will text me, and I will go, oh my god, I don't have the energy right now. And I will not respond. And then, next thing I know, a week has gone by, and I have not responded to them. And I sit there and I say, shit, oh my god, I can't believe I did this. So that's another way that I avoid abandonment, is either beating them to it, even if they're not going to do it. Like, I have ended at least one good relationship because I was terrified they were going to leave me. But, I mean, and I don't know if he was happy. Literally every time he saw me, the first things out of his mouth were, what's wrong? And I didn't want him to have to live like that. You know, it was never, hi, how are you? Or me saying, hey, how are you? How's everything going? It was always, what's wrong? Because I was always miserable, and I did not want him to live like that. So part of it was I was trying to be concerned with him and his life. And I was like, okay, well, I'm a mess, and I don't deserve you. You are wonderful, and you take care of me, and someone else deserves you. You deserve to be happy, and this is not happy, and I don't want to drag you down. So I left him. And I still, to this day, wish I hadn't have done that, because he was lovely boyfriend, and I loved him. Still do. Not necessarily in that way, but I do care about him. I care about his well-being. But yeah, it's really sad. It really is, because people are gonna hear this, and they're gonna be like, she's crazy. I don't know if I would want to be friends with her if I ever met her in person. Like, and some of my friends are gonna be, I mean, I have a lot of acquaintances, people that I do care about, but aren't like in my really, really close-knit group of friends, because I have a very close-knit group. But I have acquaintances and friends that I've known through the years, through school, through work, that I'm friends with, and I'm sure some of them are going to be put off by what I said in this video. But I have to be honest, because if I'm not, people aren't going to see the whole picture of my experience with borderline. And this first criteria it is so overwhelming. I can't have a good relationship without worrying that someone is going to leave me, or that it's not going to last, or that my mind won't let me be happy, so I'm going to end it. Like, it's not fun. It's miserable. And it's something I work on every day. I work on it really hard. And yeah, stressful video, but I really, I'm going to do one of these for every single criteria in the DSM-5 for the diagnosis of borderline. But this one is really hard, because like the other ones, for the most part, it's kind of just the way my life is. Like, I kind of have always been like a pretty reactive person, you know, that's like everyday thing for me. But this actively impacts my relationships. It impacts my friends, because, you know, I tell my friends, I'm here for you. No matter what you need, I'm here for you. Sometimes they may feel that's not true, because sometimes I just don't have the energy and I ghost them, and then lo and behold, a week has gone by and I haven't responded. You know, and I feel bad. I do. It's never meant to hurt anyone. You know, and it's awful, because if someone did that to me, I would think, oh my God, are they dead? Like, no joke, I had one friend who just would not respond to me at all. I didn't hear from her for like a few months. And it got to the point where I was checking the obits every day. I was checking to see if she'd died. And to someone who doesn't have borderline, that would seem really crazy, I'm sure. But for me, I was legitimately worried about her. Like, terrified. Like, at first I was like, did I do something wrong? Did she, like, stop being my friend, just doesn't want to talk to me anymore? But then I really got worried for her safety. And it turned out she was in the hospital because she also struggles with her mental health as well. So, yes, abandonment is a huge part of borderline for me. And very hard to talk about, because it's revealing parts of me that I don't like, things that I actively try to change. And, you know, I don't want people to look at this and think that I'm a bad person or that I can't have relationships, because that's not true. I have kept relationships with all of my family members. We've gotten into spats. We've had times where we didn't really talk. But I I mean, I feel like they're good relationships with all my family members. I have very close friends who are there for me no matter what, and I try really, really hard to be there for them no matter what. I do have a couple friends that I have gotten into it with multiple times and have had issues with, to the point where we've talked about not being friends anymore. But I love them too much to not be their friend. So this significantly impacts my life. It's quite a hindrance all the time. And, you know, people, I'm not going to say I wish I wasn't borderline, because borderline has made me who I am today. You know, and I'm not going to say I wish I hadn't gone through all the things I've gone through, even the painful things, because they've made me who I am today. And I like who I am today. I'm working on myself consistently to make sure that I get better and become the better version of myself that I see in the future, that can have relationships and not worry about someone leaving, or if they do leave, handle it with grace and not, oh my God, please come back. Oh my God, you know, I must be such a horrible person because they left me. Like, you know, it's not good, you know. So I don't want people to think that I'm not capable of forming friendships, that I'm not capable of telling the truth, because honesty is like my biggest value. Hey guys, so I just watched that video all the way through to the end, and I wanted to make a short outro for it because it does cut off at a weird place. I want to reiterate that these maladaptive coping mechanisms like lying and pushing people away are never intended to hurt people. The very end of the video, I start saying about values and how honesty is like my biggest value. I'll be honest, for a long time, I didn't know what my values were. I picked things up from other people, from fictional people I liked, real people that I looked up to. And I've only recently started to do work on what my values are. It's sad, but I've taken like so many quizzes and just done a lot of research on values and belief systems. And I'm sorry, this camera is shaky. I'm so sorry. I'm like nervous. I've been jittery all day. But yeah, honesty is one of my biggest values, if not my biggest value. And I really do strive every day to be honest with people and tell the truth and expect the same in return. So I really hope you don't think I'm just a manipulative bitch, because it's not ever what I want to do. And everyone who has borderline is different, and they're gonna deal with these kind of issues differently. Unfortunately for me, I was a very shy kid, and I didn't feel like I fit in. So lying or saying I did things that seemed cool that other kids were doing, you know. Yeah, I saw that movie. It was great. Because someone said, yeah, I saw that movie. I didn't want to be the odd one out and say, no, I didn't. So that's the kind of thing I've done my whole life. And I hate it. I really do. And I work really, really hard to not do it anymore. But like I said, I do catch myself doing it sometimes. Sorry. Or I'll start lying, and I will catch myself and say, I'm so sorry, that was a lie. And it's hard to do. I said in the video, I feel like something is always going to destroy the happiness in my life. That's a crushing feeling that I feel very frequently. I'm always scared to be happy because I feel like the people who make me happy, the things that make me happy, they're going to go. And I'm going to be me, left with my thoughts. My thoughts are not great. So that's really difficult. And, you know, if people have a right to feel the way they feel, if you watch this video and you find me repulsive, then I completely get it. But I hope that talking about this realistically and not lying about it will help convey I really do want to change that about myself. That I don't want to push people away. I don't want to ghost people. I don't want to lie to people to gain their approval or keep them in my life. It is something I actively work on every day, with every choice I make. So, and I hope that this brings some light to borderline and the manipulation that people, because like when people hear about borderline, that's one of the biggest things I've heard. When people have like just a negative connotation towards borderline, where they're not very educated about it, and they may have known someone who was abusive, who had borderline or whatever, is manipulation is a big part of it, of being abusive. That's not always the case with borderline. And if it is, it's usually not meant to be malicious or anything like that. So I hope that that is something that you guys remember and understand that people with borderline like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm going off of my experience and the experiences of those I know who have borderline, and therapists, psychiatrists, professionals that I've spoke to. People with borderline, for the most part, are abused. They've gone through horrendous abuse in their life, in one form or another, or multiple different forms. Separation of a parent, sexual abuse, physical abuse in the home, feeling like they couldn't talk to their parents or anyone in their family, that kind of stuff, you know, or other trauma can affect people to a point where they get borderline. And so no one chooses to be this way. It's unfortunately a result of abuse and pain, and I hope that people remember that when I'm talking about these things, because I don't want to be this way. I don't want to feel the way I feel. Today was a very difficult day. I had therapy, and when I came home, it was the weight of the world on my shoulders about life in general, what I'm doing with my life, where I am in life. I feel like I'm never gonna get to where I want to be. And I know that really doesn't have anything to do with relationships and fear of abandonment, but that's just one thing I struggle with, and there's so much more behind what the one thing I'm talking about in the video. So I hope that this video helped you understand, at least to some extent, some of the things that at least I do, that other people with borderline might do, other people with mental illness might do. And for those who know me, and who probably look at me in a very different light now, understand that I'm still Rebecca. I do better now. I try very hard to be better and healthy and learn how to have good relationships with people without fear that they're going to go. Because then I don't live in the moment. I don't enjoy the relationship in the present. Like, I'm constantly thinking about the future. And if they're going to stay my friend, if they're going to stay in my life, or if they're going to leave. I try very hard to not do that, because you miss out on a whole relationship doing that. So I hope you found this video educational, because this was the first one that I filmed from the series that I'm doing on the criteria for borderline. The first one I posted was the dissociation one, because that one I filmed and was like, I want to get this video up now. And this one, I just got software to edit videos. I have never edited videos before in my life. So I'm playing around with this video software to learn how to edit so that I can make my videos better quality. So I had to wait to add these two little videos before and after the actual video, because it did cut off and I didn't want to leave you hanging like, what the fuck? So I had to get to a point where I knew how to at least compile 3 videos in a row and play as one. So I apologize that this video took so long to post. This was the first one I filmed and I intended on posting it that night, but shit happens. So yeah, I think that's about it. I just wanted to, end this video on a note that an actual outro instead of just being cut off. So I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys take care of yourselves, because you deserve it. And I will see you later.